So let me show you. When you hit Control R, you can make a sprite. Now watch this. If I say rectangle, let's make a blue rectangle. And now let's put some red lines. So I just noticed I have a bug. If we go to the sprite, let's say we want to edit a line, or not. Let's say we want to select a line. So we say select element, and then I click. Now the rectangle is highlighted. I clicked here on the line, but the rectangle got highlighted. What happened is in the code where it in the Sprite editor code, my bird just flew on the floor. My dear bird Percival is dying. He's pretty old, anyway. So let's see. I was trying to show you something. Let's look for CDC. So we're jumping to the source code. So there's this nearest distance curse sprite element number. Nearest sprite element number. Okay, so let's find nearest. So when we select, we set the nearest. Where do we set the distance? I guess curse sprite. Let's see. Okay, so when we draw the sprite, it updates the nearest element. Let's look for nearest sprite element. Oopsie. Find it. Okay. So I had a brilliant idea. So when it plots, then it resets nearest sprite element. Okay, here's my brilliant idea. What if we say, when it's, okay, so here's what's happening. When it draws all the elements in the sprite, it does a comparison if it is less than, and I'm going to change it so that it does, if the distance is less than or equal. So what this means is the foreground will be the So the foreground will be it will prefer the foreground. What is this? Okay. Okay, so now when I reboot, I might as well compile. I don't have to compile. Reboot. Now when I go to Control R, so if I go to Sprite Edit menu, and then I select element. Now if I click, okay, it's still the rectangle, but now let's try it again. Okay, we got both the rectangle. Okay, unselect all. Okay, let's try this again. Select element. Now if I Control Alt Z, now if I am on top of the line, now the line is selected instead of the rectangle. If I okay, now if I select element, if I do it right here, then the rectangle. Okay. Control Shift C. Control Alt Shift C. Unzooms. Okay. So I fixed it. It's what you might want is to cycle through all the elements, but I think it's good enough if it does the what if it selected all of them? That's too hard. Anyway, so it selects the foreground. It selects the foreground. So now we're going to upload a new version to my website. So I go to changelog and I say made Sprite edit select foreground element. I abbreviate. Why don't I call this Sprite edit? Control L, link to man page. Sprite. We want Sprite edit. I think there's just Sprite edit. Okay. Sprite edit is okay, good enough. Now what I do, my puppy wants in my room. I did this a couple times. My puppy wants in the room. Okay, now we start recompile. This is not recompile. This is it regenerates my website and all the ISO files. It redoes them all. Anyway, by the way, if you want to How's that, puppy? Okay. Be nice to the bird. Be nice to the bird. Okay. Okay, so I was thinking I should show you how to, if you want to have an environment like my environment, okay, well, anyway, let's go looking for stuff on the net. Oh, I know, let's go. See if there's comments. I know, let's go. Hi. See if there's comments. Hi. See if there's comments. Only one person watching. So, wonder why more people aren't watching. Because it's boring. I don't know. So let's find the story for God to respond to. Okay, so delusionally, maybe they're talking about me. I don't think so. Never know. Terrifying briefings. That's from Mr. God. The doctor's name is Crawford, psychologist, that I saw him back in 2000, but he's probably still around. My doctor's name could be Crawford. So let's go ahead and FBI source. FBI wants source code. And now we'll see if Mr. God wants to talk. Oops. 340. Now we escape. Let's see what we got. Same consciousness, the same regrets, to be ready to return to the same good understanding. And they were just growing again, like themselves. Harriet, as Emma must suspect, as ready as the best of them to be cordial and happy when the carriage reappeared and all was over. The style of the visit, the shortness of it, were then felt to be decisive. 14 minutes to be given to those with whom she had thankfully passed 6 weeks, not 6 months ago. Emma could not but picture it all and feel just... if we were going to try to interpret, Obama might have visited somebody, and so how do you explain how to interpret? Emma is one of Hillary Clinton's aides. Not that. Picture it all. I was working with Sprites. Okay, that wasn't much of a response. You know, Clinton's person. Clinton is kind of a bitch. I think that's fair. So we're going to set this in motion. Will synchronize my website. And let's go ahead and we can talk to God in the meantime. God, kiss my puppy. So I was going to show how to use the Sprite editor. So let's try to make something with the Sprite editor. So Control R, make Sprite. My favorite thing to draw is the Olympic rings. So draw a circle. Oh. Now we click over here, and this will insert in front. Well, hold on a sec. Let's make 4 copies. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I know what I was going to do. So click here. Now insert width 5. Now we go to Sprite edit menu and shift points. Okay, that doesn't look good. So we can make these exact edit as text. Let's say 80, 120, 50. Why is this 50? 40 more than. Oh, okay. So the three, let's go ahead and, these three are the order got changed. Oh, that should be no surprise. Okay, so 50 and 100. Just cleaning these up. Okay, so escape. Now we go back to the main Sprite menu, and let's put color blue. Click here. Color yellow. Click here. I don't know the color black. It's supposed to be for continents, isn't it? But color green. Now if we okay, let's see if my select works well. Select element. Let's click here, and let's click here. Right click. Good. Now, shift selected elements. Hey, it's working. Okay, escape. Let's go. Let's, now here's what you need to learn how to do. Convert to bitmap. Transparent. Use these extents. Now, let's go to the main menu. Now look, it's a bitmap. So, bitmap, transparent, use these extents. Now let's say color. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Let's say dither color. Let's do brown and transparent. Now let's do flood fill. Okay, so okay, Control Alt Z. Control Alt Shift C. Let's exit. So, isn't that lovely? What else can we do? So I tried to show off how you use the Control R sprite editor. Oh, you know, we can do, how about we, let's try to import oh, is this done? This is done. Okay, so I have to copy my website files. So now we delete those two, and the ones so we just I like to check the date time. Okay, so I just updated the website with made Sprite edit, select foreground element. Okay, so now let's what were we going to do? I was going to do something, I forgot. Let's talk to God. Let's see if anybody's watching. Eight people watching. Okay, let's do some more sprite editing. Let's see if anybody's watching. Okay, we had the. Let's do some more sprite editing. The Dragon book. Oh, that's for compilers. What did we have? We had the dinosaur book. We had the. Whoa, that's weird. Let's do some more sprite editing. Dragon book. Oh, that's for compilers. What did we have? We had the dinosaur book. You know, I didn't really have to deal with they teach you about deadlock and the bakery algorithm, where you take a number. Let's say you want to print a file, and you need both the disk. Let's say you need two resources at the same time. Then how do you let let's say there's something called deadlock, which is a major topic for operating systems. One time the only time I ever had to deal with deadlock was one time I was going to make disk cache write. I was going to cache disk writes. Currently I cache disk reads, but not writes. And one day I set out to make that as an option to cache disk writes, and I got deadlock. You need to, anytime you need to have ownership of two resources, then you have to deal with the issue of deadlock. And basically I managed to avoid deadlock in my entire operating system, because in some respects I kind of I don't know if you want to say cheat. What was the other? Well, sharing is a big topic. I'm gonna boot the. Watch this. I'm going to boot the D drive, and while it's loading, now if I click here, it doesn't share the disk, and so that means when that file was loading, I was actually it was writing. When it was I compress the dictionary when I make a new version, and it has to uncompress during the first time you boot. And I was going to demonstrate that it doesn't share the disk, so that one task has ownership. So basically, I avoided all the operating system concepts that they teach. I didn't have to do any of that because I didn't feel like it. I view this as a single user operating system, and so that means we only have to play one video game at a time. You can play multiple games. But the point is, watch this. Let's see. Wait a minute. Well, anyway, that there's no share. That's an example of where there weren't any resources that needed to be shared. Actually, the speaker needed to be shared, but I didn't bother. There's no coordination of sharing the speaker. That's kind of what I did with everything. Well, what are we talking about? There's only about 5 different hardware devices. There's the screen, the disk. There's CD-ROM. There's sound. There's mouse and keyboard. So there's like 6 different hardware devices. Oh, I know. So you want to talk about operating system concepts? That's probably a popular topic. Let's go see if anybody said anything. Topic. Let's go see what anybody said anything. Topic. Let's go see what anybody said anything. So, I tried to avoid ownership of progress. Watch this. If I say progress 1 max equals 10, uh-oh. How do you do the progress bars? So there's 4 progress bars. I was going to demonstrate that I don't have coordination on that resource either. What the truck? Progress 1 equals 10. Okay, so I made these are global variables. There's 4 global variables called progress 1, progress 2, progress 3, and progress 4. And when I'm debugging, I like to throw a value into these variables because it's displayed on the wallpaper and I can view it. Okay, that's what I thought. So in order to do a progress bar, all you have to do is set progress 1 to something, progress 1 max to something other than 0. So then you can change it. So you can see what a low complexity resource this is. There's no ownership of the progress bars. And so if this guy starts doing so if this guy starts, let's say this guy wanted to do a progress bar, then there's no coordination, so there's no ownership, and so it would get all messed up. So how on earth can you use this? Well, it's designed to be broken. What that means is mostly you do one application at a time, and so in the real world it's not really a problem. Sometimes you need more than one progress bar. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So there is a situation where I don't use a progress bar that often. Now how do you fix this? We have to say there's a function. Progress bars reset. Okay, now they're gone. Let's go ahead and run the this is the test suite. I think that's progress bar number 4 on the bottom. Some of the applications use progress bar number 1. Oh well. So, yeah, cooperative multitasking. The main, when they say cooperative multitasking, usually they're talking about the scheduler. And as a matter of fact, I used to have preemptive multitasking, but I changed it to cooperative because I figured it was too difficult for my users. The main place where multitasking is an issue is there's a window manager task that updates the screen, and your game application has to interact with the window manager, and so when it draws, when there's a callback that each task uses to redraw the screen, and or the window manager calls a callback for each task to draw the window. And if you, let's say you have some objects that you have linked lists and you print them on the screen by going through the linked list, well, you would soon discover that changing the list is dangerous when there's two tasks accessing it without a lock. And unless you want to do a lock, that's not much fun. But as it turns out, there's a simple solution that basically gets rid of all the issues. And what that is you get rid of preemption. So you make your code. You can do what you like with the linked list, and as long as there's no preemption, you're never going to have a problem. I figured I would make it full cooperative multitasking. By that I mean what I used to do is I used to have a preempt off, and what you did is you turned off preemption for that task, and basically, as it turns out, there's not really a much of a penalty for getting rid of preemption. The only issue is the sound. Occasionally, you get glitches in the timing of songs because of preemption. Because there's no preemption, but otherwise. Basically, tasks have to wait on I/O, and in the real world, tasks mostly get swapped out when they're waiting on I/O. And if you're waiting on I/O, then there's no issue of preemption. In other words, if each task swaps itself out when it waits on I/O, then you don't need preemption, because I/O is because everybody's cooperating, and they just wait on I/O. Now, if you did make a task, watch this. If we said, I'm going to show you that it doesn't have preemption for I equals 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So did you see it lock up? It stopped blinking. That's because it doesn't have preemption. So it locks out the window manager. So now let's say you really, normally you never normally you wait on I/O, but let's see. They call this cooperative multitasking because if you play nice, if you yield the CPU, then you get the picture. So there's no real. You probably don't care that it locks up the computer. If you're doing some, I guess there might be timers that get screwed up. I don't know if it's safe to lock up the. I don't know if anything will. Okay, it still has interrupts, but it doesn't have preemption. Let's say you're doing a batch processing where let's say you're running a scientific matrix application. There's a good chance you don't care if it locks up. Maybe you need to interrupt it. Oh, that's okay. That'll work. As a matter of fact, let's demonstrate you can interrupt. So if you hit Control-Alt-C, okay, so you can interrupt it. It has interrupts, and what we just did is so Control-Alt-C. So on a multi-user mainframe, you don't want one task to hog the computer, but what this is designed for is a single-user home computer. So why did I do it? Because it's simpler, and it's more fun to hack. Because it's simpler, and it's more fun to hack. Because it's simpler, and it's more fun to hack. It's not Flash. It's not Flash. Cheese pizza. Not Flash. Okay, so I just looked at the comments. Yeah, I was going to demonstrate how to. That's what I was going to do. So let's say you go to my website, go to downloads. Let's get the ultra small. Why is it? It used to be 2.0. I took out. That's good. I took out something. I took out. I used to allow allocating 2 meg blocks. I took that code out, so that dropped the size down to 1.9, I guess. Okay, so we're going to make a new virtual machine. Typical is okay. We go to my download directory. That's the 2 meg file. Other 64-bit, yeah. Someday I want them to list me officially. I call this the ultra small. So this size, the default is okay. It uses very little disk space. 100 meg is probably all you need. Customize hardware, yeah, we do want to customize. We want 8 processors, 8 cores. I have a Core i7. Don't make more than you actually have, because on this operating system it actually requires real cores. There's something called well, normally they fork, and in the scheduler doesn't. Normally you don't explicitly utilize the cores. On a normal system, you don't know how many cores you have. On this system, you actually divide it into 8 tasks, and you get the number of cores. Anyway, I can explain that a little bit. So I like to do 5 because that's more than 4, and that's what people start shaking their finger. Oh, it's not 64-bit, it's 32-bit. So if you do 5 gig, then it makes it. That's why I do 5. We could. Okay, so now we're installing the 2 meg version. So yes, install on hard drive. Yes, we are in a virtual machine. Now, if you're in a virtual machine, then it makes some assumptions. It's normal for this to freeze. Press a key. Okay, so now we're installing. It's formatting the disk and installing. It's making 2 identical partitions. They're not quite identical. One has a bootloader, a master bootloader. I don't put my bootloader in the gap. There's the normal technique, or at least this is, everything's changed with UEFI. Anyway, reboot. Okay, so here's how you, if you want to be pretty close to what I have, then Control D. Okay, so here's the directory. This is the file manager. I was just going to show you. Oh, this doesn't have demos. Oh, damn it. I screwed up. Okay. We can't. I was going to show you how to use my files for your if you wanted to be like me and use my files. I was going to show you how to do that. Okay, so manage, delete from disk. Okay, I actually purchased VMware Workstation. I'm alarmed because they're no longer, they fired everybody that was on that project. I hope they don't get rid of it. It seems pretty done. I don't know. Anyway, so let's go back to the website. So the problem is the ultra small doesn't have any extra garbage, and now we go to downloads. Let's get the 17 meg. Okay, I think we're, oh, there it is. Okay, we're good. Now we, new virtual machine, typical, file, downloads the 17 meg. I call this production. This is the production version. Okay, customize hardware. Okay, you actually have to, 512 is the minimum, because, because it actually uses that. If you run the test suite, or you generate a distribution, and you have less than 512 meg, it might actually crash. So it really does need 512 meg. I'm going to get rid of the network card just to show that you don't need it. And we can demonstrate that God still talks. So I hit Y. So that's how I do this a lot. So the full distribution has the demos, the game applications, the dictionary. The dictionary is the biggest thing. And it has, what does it have? It has, it has what we're going to look at right now. Okay, so if you hit Control D, take two or no. Control D is the file. Control D is the file manager. Maybe. Anyway, if we go to the demo, there's a directory called account example, and this has my personal files. This is on the standard distribution. If you get the 17 meg, it's on there. And what you do if you want to run just like me, you can delete your own. I do it this way. Well, you don't have to do this. Okay, I deleted the 3 files. Then I do a regular copy. I could say copy tree, but it's not a tree. So copy C. Oh well. Copy demo account example /star. Oh, we could do it with the. Why don't we do it that way? Okay, you're probably a wimp. Okay, so I just copied the files. We could use the file manager. Let's do it that way just to demonstrate. You know, you can't delete in bulk, as I recall. Uh-oh. Cancel. We don't want to delete kernel. Okay, so this file manager is a death trap. Okay, delete. Personal notes. Let's see. Okay, so it only deletes one at a time. But you can copy multiple ones at a time. I could delete the directory and then recreate it. Anyway, so we go to account example, put these on the clipboard, and then we go to home, and then we insert. So I copied them. Shut up, bird. Okay. Hold on, the bird. Hey, you want to see my bird? Here's my bird. Come on. Yeah, he's like 20 years old and he's crippled and he's dying. Anyway, so we copied from, now we reboot. Okay, now you have a setup almost exactly like mine. Well, you have, now the 2 things you need to know are this does a make all, so this compiles all the code. It never uses object files, so it actually compiles everything. If we say compile and then reboot, so now you have my scripts. If you wanted to be even more like me, then you could go to miscellaneous. There's no way to do this. If you downloaded all these files and then put them into, I have them in a download directory. Hold on a second. So I just turned that off. I'm going to delete it. Now I go to my normal one. So this is my version, and there's, in this download directory, there's a lot of files. You could get that off of my website if you wanted to. You might like the songs. There's songs on there, 100 songs. Maybe you want, there's a few games. Chess, the Pilgrim. This game's kind of cool. It's not much of a game. So, we're going to, this is done without a GPU. This is pretty hard to do without a GPU. So There's a chess game, missile defense. Let's see if we have any comments. So, maybe somebody wants to, be a priest. I could let them update my website. Do you seriously want to, what I normally do all day as a quote-unquote priest is, normally blog. So I go to the web and, my mom's overhearing. Appeals court tweets dance baby. Hey, let's get God to talk about dinosaurs. Oh, damn. Birds on the ground again. Okay, so this is what you do as a priest. You go here. Then you have to control T. So you have to talk to God, otherwise He won't respond. Oh, let's see. Now, go to the random number site. Okay, so 280, what? 1048, yeah. 280, okay, that makes sense. You can see my other bird. That's the one that he's younger. He's healthy. That is renowned for faith, be fickle fortune, For then I hope thou wilt not keep him long, but send him back. Ho, daughter, are you up? Who is that calls? Is it my lady mother? Is she not down so late and up so early? What a custom cause procure her hither, enter mother. Why, how now, Juliet? Madame, I am not well. Evermore weeping for your cousin's death. What will thou wash him from his grave with tears? So, be fickle. Maybe we need to take seriously qualifications for blogging. I don't know. Anyway, so I was just thinking my mom is in the other room. I think she might be overhearing. So we could make a song. Well, let's blog some more. Let's go find the story. Maybe we can get God to talk about dinosaurs. So we have to ask an entertaining question. God, did any dinosaurs okay. So, normally, let's wait till it, well, it doesn't matter. $580. It's Word of God. For when they shall rise from the dead, which neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are as the angels which are in heaven. And as touching the dead, they that rise, they have ye not read in the book of Moses, how in the bush God spake unto him, saying, I am the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob. He is not the God of the dead, but the God of the living. Ye therefore do err greatly err. And one of the scribes came, and having heard them reasoning. So, in the Bible, guess. I think it's Corinthians number 2, I guess. Number 5. Number 7. How about number 7? So this says not to get married if you it says if you do not lust, don't get married. First Corinthians chapter 7. I think that's the one. It says to wait on the Lord. If they can contain, let them. If they cannot contain. Therefore I say unto you, unmarried and widows, it is good for them to abide even as I. Well, it's in the Bible. Then you get to talk, well, you have to be on disability. Then you can talk to God all day. So, okay, so it mentioned a bush. That's about the dinosaurs. So, what's a good dinosaur question? Cloister. Oh no. So this script transfers from let me explain. So on my website, under miscellaneous, in the bin directory, these are some scripts. This is for QEMU. This is for VMware. Hold on. These are little tiny scripts. You can get them on my website. VM install will set up a VMware disk, mount VM disk. Sometimes you have to to manually change the permissions. But once you get it, well, anyway, and then once you're, this is expecting the disk to be named VM disk, and VM out, what this does is it copies files from my VMware guest into my Linux host. So it copies from the VM mount into my my home directory. So I have a I copy. I don't copy quite everything, but I copy most things. So I have a home directory. This is just like my home directory, and it's a copy of my home directory. And so it's a copy of my home directory. Then I have a copy of my website. So I do all disk transfers in and out off of the D partition, because it can get corrupted if you go in there and start deleting and renaming stuff on your Linux or on your mounted drive. Then I don't do FAT32 short names. It's kind of a FAT32 started as a DOS file system, and they started with 8-character names and 8.3, and then I think in 1995 they added the long file names, and so there's now, if you actually look at if you take a FAT partition, I'm doing a full. Okay, so the cluster number for this directory is right there. Now if I say dump cluster, this is the directory, and this is the FAT directory. So these are the 8-character short names, and then the long names, they're 2 characters apiece, and you can see B, U, D. They're spread out over several entries, and so here's the problem. If once you so I have scripts that that copy in and out, and so there's one copying in, one copying out. There's a script that will mount the drive, another one that will unmount, and when you call the copy in or out, it automatically mounts and then unmounts. So I generate my website with my own software, and then copy that into my and then I synchronize with cross FTP. So if I had somebody blogging, they would need to learn how to do this. So this synchronizes with my website. So there's actually 3 different. There's a guest hard disk. There's the Linux system, and then there's my website, which that of course has its own files. Anyway, so we were going to talk about. Okay, so I can do VM mount. So once I do that, now on my file system, under what is it under? Mount, isn't it under? Mount. So now I have, one of these is for QEMU, that's my disk for QEMU. VM disk is for VMware. And this has, so right now it's mounted. If I were to go in here and start messing around, it would make, the short names are not really supported. And so if you mess around, you can copy in and copy out, but if you start deleting and renaming, it's gonna corrupt the short names, and then it's not going to work in TempleOS. So here's what I recommend. Let me unmount. Okay. So what I recommend is you have a C and a D drive. I recommend using just the D drive for transferring in and out, and keep the C as your master, and that shouldn't get corrupted. Let's just get here's my puppy. So, anyway, so if you want to see, I could explain. QEMU is free. This is about 5 times faster disk access, but QEMU is pretty good. It used to be buggy, but now it's pretty good. QEMU. It has VMware sound is distorted. So VMware sound is distorted. QEMU, I can start up my QEMU. Now this is tricky because it automatically copies when you exit. My scripts automatically copy out, and so I have one master on my host Linux, and I have 2 guest hard disks, the VMware and the QEMU, and I have to be careful not to. VMware is what I use as my master. But QEMU is the only one that can do songs. So I have it rigged so that if I shut this, it doesn't copy out. In my bin directory, I have QEMU in and out. So let's look at, you probably need to see the mount. So I tell it to do number 2, which is I have a C and a D partition, and this number 2 means to mount the D partition. It has to be a FAT32. I think the default is FAT32. So this is how you. I have on my. Oh, if you want to do QEMU, EMU install. This creates the hard disk image, and then you do EMU new, and I think it will. Anyway, so you can get those. Like I said before, on my website. This is my website, home, miscellaneous TempleOS for download, and then bin. This has the scripts for copying in and out. I even have scripts for generating a movie. I can capture BMP files and then make a video by using FFmpeg. there's a easier way to make videos, and that's this OBS screencast. But in the past, I used to have to do the BMP files. Kumu. You want to see the YouTube military? So I like to follow F-35. There's a Zumwalt. So I'm on disability and I spend all my time browsing the web. So I can't play these videos or it's going to make a copyright issue. It's just YouTube. I like to, I know, here, let's put the radio on. This is,
Wherever you browse on our site, the audio continues uninterrupted.
oh, let's see if God wants to talk about the military. God said he, well, there's an osprey, and he said it's an abomination. I don't think that God likes the F-35. I could be wrong. The osprey is a vertical takeoff plane. God, we looked at Halo, where they have Halo has jetpacks for soldiers. I don't think God likes that. God doesn't like, let's see. Yeah, that looks like a dud. If you spam God, you have to put some effort. You can't just... was talking. It's distracting me. Okay. Oh, well, what else do you want to talk about? Let's see what's on the web. I'm just... How about that? Let's put that. No, let's not put that. Well,
Well, well, well,
I can't show you my mouse because it's too short. So, I don't remember if I uploaded to my site. So, I copy out of VMware into my Linux website file, website directory, and then if I'm doing a single file, I do FileZilla. Otherwise, I do cross FTP. Cross FTP will do a synchronize. I don't think this will. This is free. It would be nice if it could synchronize. Maybe I didn't look. Anyway, so I use FileZilla to transfer a single file, and I use cross FTP for to synchronize the whole thing. Okay, that's enough for now. I'm gonna stop casting.